And when you see these young Ukrainian men and women, who have families and sometimes, 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers behind where we were, they're all doing the sort of jobs that we do or our friends do or people we know do. And here they are in uniform because their country's been invaded and they're not willing to see that happen. And so they fight. It's the same with the young generation in Israel. My belief has always been that those of us who grew up in the wake of World War II always had this question in our heads, which was we knew the stories from our parents, grandparents, of what they had done in the 1930s and 40s to stop Hitlerian fascism. And there was always this question that was on all of our minds, I think. It was sort of in our hearts as well, which was,
could we do it?
Could we do it? And the further you come away from conflict, the more you inevitably sort of ask yourself that question, then doubt it. And I give examples in the book of horrific opinion polls, which have been carried out in the UK and the US in the last few years, asking if young Americans or young Brits would be willing to stand and fight if their country was invaded, if our country was invaded in this way. And the results are not good.
They say no.
They mainly say no, yeah. Particularly people in the age that our forebears went off to fight in 1914-18 and 1939-45, which was, 18 to 40, pretty much.
Douglas Murray is one of my favorite prolific thinkers. He has been for quite some time. It's only recently that I've been becoming a little bit more disenchanted with him, because his whole paradigm is the West moral good powerhouse, and then also Israel the plenum and gold standard of morality. And it's like, okay, yeah, we get it. I get it too. Like, look, man, I read all his books: Neoconservatism, The Strange Death of Europe, and The War on the West. I see how he's getting this meta view, but I think it's because he's a gay guy. He doesn't understand what the average guy's experience is, bro. And this is why I think it's surprising to him why, oh my God, Gen Z doesn't want to fight the wars. First off, who's mainly going to fight those wars if and when such a thing would happen? It's dudes. It's guys. Obviously not to say that women aren't in the military, but the majority of it's going to be guys. Do you think as a guy the West is in favor of the average man? Today, it's not. Like, it's just not. It is what it is. And I'm not saying I'm anti-Western. Bro, I think Western civilization is the best we've ever had. But as of today, the West has turned on men. The average men. It's turned on them. It is in favor of corporations, businesses, the elites, basically. You got money, all right, you can do whatever you want. And women. You don't matter as a man. That's what I think he doesn't get. He does mention, to be fair, the war of masculinity a little bit later, but this is one of those things that I was just like, dude, how is this surprising? How do you not understand why the young wouldn't want to fight the war for a system that doesn't give a shit about them?
Douglas Murray sees Ukrainians and Israelis fighting for survival and asks the million-dollar question, could our youth do the same? He cites polls showing Western kids would rather flee than fight. Only 55% of Americans would stay and defend their nation. While they defend their homelands with blood and bone, have we bred a generation of cowards ready to just hand over the keys to the kingdom?
The 18 to 40 age group in the UK largely says that they wouldn't fight even if our country was under existential threat. And I think there's several reasons for that. One, of course, is that we have been, as I said earlier, demoralized as a country. If you've been told your country is rotten, why would you lay down your life for it? I mean, it would be ridiculous. So I think the demoralization and the attack on ourselves, our past, our culture, our history, can be said to have some very serious effects. But the good news is that I had heard for years in Israel a similar thing.
goes on to glaze Israel, which is like, yeah, kudos to them. They're holding it down. All right, got to do what you got to do. I'm not going to go into that dichotomy with Islamism and Jewish religions. They're just incompatible. It's quite obvious. Nonetheless, he talks about the demoralization of the West. And then he also discusses, the narrator says it, but it's pretty much implied, Western cowardice, right? When he discusses the demoralization and cowardice, what is he really referring to? Who is he really referring to? It's men. It's men. Demoralization. Who have women been demoralized for the past decades or so? No. Jesus Christ. Just watch any of the propaganda from the 60s moving forward. It's been a good run, bro. It's enough with the whole anything to do with blaming the patriarchy. We have overcorrected. If you were to put that same questionnaire in front of me, bro, I'm like, yeah, I'm not fighting this war. This system is for the rich and for women. The average dude is going to get cooked. 1/3 of men are not going to have kids. They're not going to afford a family. It's not happening. And if even that, right? Because then there's just the natural genetic selection part, right? It's just if you don't got the cutthroat genes for it, it's just not going to get picked for sexual attention. So it's tough. It's a tough. What do you call it? It's a raw deal, raw fucking deal. I just can't believe it's surprising to Douglas at this point. He does refer to, again, I gotta admit, he does talk about the war on masculinity. He does mention that in a couple of videos. But it's just like, dude, when you're asking the young people, the women don't count. When you ask about, would you defend your country? The women don't count in this question. Like, who cares what they even answer? They're not gonna defend their country. Who cares? It's the dudes that are gonna have to either go to jail or go to war. So you let me know what you think. I loved Douglas Murray, but I've been slowly becoming a little bit disenchanted with him. Deuces.